I'll be going through the answers quickly, so make sure your course book is open in front of you, and please stop and rewind the video as you need to. So, got your book open in front of you? Are your answers in capitals? Want to know why the answers are the answers? Then let's go. For question number 1, the context is trying to communicate the idea that neighbours don't really speak to each other, or if they do, they don't speak to each other that much at all. So what we need here is the correct adverb to communicate that idea that modifies the verb that follows, speak. Well, there's only one of the answers that correctly collocates with speak, and that is A, barely. Question number 2, vocabulary question. What this is getting at is that it's something that you saw everywhere. It was very common, which meant that you saw it everywhere, or that you met it very much more often compared to perhaps now. So we need an expression, a word to complete the expression, a common what? Well, there's only one answer, and that is a common sight. Question 3, easy peasy if you've got the context correct, and the context, of course, is talking about connecting people, putting people together, putting neighbourhoods together. If that's the case, there's only one piece of vocabulary out of the answers that we're provided with that can be correct, and that is A, ties. For question number 4, the key word here is the preposition after the gap, and as well, also what comes after the preposition, and that being a noun of a thing, not a person, and that's important. If we have a look at the first 3 answers A, B, C, we can see given the preposition and given what follows after the preposition, none of those actually work. The reason why I stressed the noun or the thing that was after the preposition is because you can apply to, but you have to apply to someone. Otherwise, you apply for something. And of course, because it's a something that follows the preposition, it doesn't work with to in this case, which means that the only answer that we're left with is D. For question number 5, this is a contextual question. There's no two ways about it. The context is telling us, or the context is suggesting, that communities are no longer working. No, at least they weren't working in the way that they once were. So we need to choose the correct vocabulary to communicate this meaning. There's only one piece of vocabulary that does that, and that's break down. Question number 6, pure vocabulary. Either you know the collocation or you don't. Hopefully you did. What of vandalism? An act of vandalism. If you didn't know what that was, commit that one now to memory. For question number 7, the preposition after the gap is the key word that's going to help narrow down our answers. There's only 2 answers that work with that particular preposition, but if we complete those phrasal verbs, they mean 2 completely different things. To try on something, well, it's something that you try on are clothes, and here that makes no sense whatsoever. So the answer that's left is to call on. Well, does that fit the contextual meaning that we're looking for? And yes, it does. If you call on someone, it means that you ask them or request of them to take part or do something, and that fits the context here perfectly. Question number 8. This is a verb, noun, collocation. Either you know it or you don't. Basically, we're looking for something that means the same as be observant, or to watch, or to observe, depending what the context is. What's the verb that we're looking for? Keep. To keep an eye on something.